here it is, Marvel Studios in 2025, January 29th, the Spider-Man cartoon. Valentine's Day, Captain America Brave New World. Daredevil is out March 4th, so that's coming up. Thunderbolts, May 2nd. June 24th, Ironheart.
Oh, no.
June will be a good month. July 25th, Fantastic Four. August 16th is a Wakanda. What is that show? Tales of Wakanda?
Dora Milaje one? Or this is separate than that?
It's a Disney Plus show about Wakanda. And then October 3rd, Marvel Zombies, also on Disney Plus. And also on Disney Plus in December, no date set, Wonder Man. What are our predictions for these? I really think this is a mixed bag. And maybe two of these things could be decent. I think everything else for 2025 from Marvel looks bad. FF and Daredevil, I have faith in. The rest of these, although I hear Wonder Man is actually really good. Oddly.
Well, we also heard good things about Thunderbolts too.
Right. So, thoughts? Or
Let
thoughts?
me just say, it's Eyes of Wakanda. That's the
Eyes of Wakanda.
I say this is their survive till 2025. This is what they were holding out till.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, they probably already shot it years ago.
I'm surprised they didn't shelve Ironheart, to be honest.
I'm sure they tried.
But it must be super connected,
Steph,
because they've already had to reach. So it must be super connected that they cannot get rid of it.
No, they can't. They can't do it because of optics, man. You can't have your first like black female-led superhero being shelved. So I mean, just for the optics alone, right? I mean,
Disney Plus needs new content month after month after month, and so there's new content right there. Eyes of Wakanda, new.
Okay,
Marvel
so
it's not impressive. Daredevil's the only thing I'm really interested in, and it better be good.
Oh, so nervous
about I'm
that.
gonna see, and we'll see their supposedly new direction, but yeah, Daredevil better be good.
And Fantastic Four,
but
we'll probably see a trailer. We'll probably see a trailer in front of Captain America.
Yeah,
I guess.
What's
or during the Super Bowl, probably.
Yeah.
Both Daredevil and Captain America were totally reshot.
Yeah,
they scrapped Daredevil entirely and started over, bringing it back more in line.
So Vincent D'Onofrio called it a creative reset. I was like, you mean when they fired everyone and like got rid of a bunch of the episodes? That's like the first big course correction I think we saw, and then the hiring back of the actors for Foggy and Karen.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that worked.
Okay, predictions. What does this look like if you're playing tic-tac-toe? I see a lot of X's on the board for ones that were.
I see Marvel losing a lot of money this year.
Yeah,
it's a reset year. It feels like.
Unless these things are good.
I think word of mouth is going to carry with a lot of these movies.
I think Captain America's in trouble.
It definitely is, for sure.
If Fantastic Four does great, it will cover the losses for everything else.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, here's the biggest problem with their animation stuff is that what if season 3 went off the rails so hard? I don't think people want to trust their animation anymore.
Of What If?
Yeah, What If went off the rails big.
It really did.
Season.
Yeah, I can't watch that show. I can't watch the What If show because I've read the comic, and the comic is so good.
Yeah,
it's conceptually like the comic deals with the kind of questions that as a comic fan you wonder, like what if the Fantastic Four switched powers, like the powers were distributed differently,
what if
didn't Howard the Duck like have a kid with Darcy?
Yep,
she laid an egg.
Yeah,
what the heck?
She banged a duck and had a baby with him.
Well, wasn't that an actual What If comic though?
No.
Of all the what ifs, that's the one they went with. But if Daredevil is good and Thunderbolts is not offensive to borderline just generic action like you guys keep hinting it might be, or you heard, and Fantastic Four hits like perfection, and then Marvel Zombies is not offensive, I guess it could stem the bleeding of all those other things that will most certainly fail.
Yeah, because Spider-Man is going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Spider-Man is going to fail big.
Black Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn, that's just going to piss everyone off.
Yes, it'll have the regular support from like the activists on Twitter, but that's it.
We're getting
That's
a
a man,
black
Chris.
trans Harry Osborn.
No, he's not trans. It's supposed to be man. That is what they're
Why does
depicting.
he have a man bun
He-
and
I don't
earrings?
know.
He has feminine features.
Yeah, I still
Yeah.
can't tell if it's a man or woman.
They're saying he and calling him Harry.
Okay.
The real thing that's really, I think, missing.
Harriet.
They've got so much invested in it. They've got 2 Avengers movies coming, which we keep hearing things about. Does any of this seem like it's going in the direction of leading up to a new Avengers film? It's almost like
No.
I don't see any. Where's the build up to the shattering climax with Doomsday and Secret Wars? And it's such a strange. They had they were executing a formula that they seem to just have abandoned entirely, and I don't understand it.
Well, here's the question for the Avengers: who are the Avengers?
We don't know.
Yep.
Well,
I
it's
think-
Marvel's
That was a big
Katie,
problem for
obviously.
Phase 4 for me was because, like, phases 1 through 3, everything seemed to move forward in a particular direction with an end. Phase 4, just everything was just at a standstill. Nothing really happened. There was no point in any of the movies or shows that came out, because it wasn't leading anywhere, and everything kept changing. So it's just like, what is all of this leading to? I've lost track of where they're at.
Hey, but they got rid of Kang and What If that no one watched. So we got that going for us.
And it seems they really wanted to focus on introducing or setting up a young Avengers team, which no one is connecting with, no one liked, or any particularly those specific characters, except for Miss Marvel, but no one really watched it, and it doesn't have that mass wide appeal. Like, this is something you do in cartoon form, that it's not gonna, or are people gonna flock to like Deadpool and Wolverine money for young Avengers team? Why they pivoted so hard to set up this young Avengers team, I really don't understand that decision.
Got to get the kids, Elaine.
Yeah,
Gotta
but
get
by
them
the
in.
time they make a Young Avengers movie, they won't be young anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And someone pointed out the 3 people they put together are all sort of the same character. America Chavez, all the actors, they all, Cassie Lang, they all act the same.
And another thing about these, who are the kids that are watching cartoons about superheroes?
Yeah.
I don't think that exists anymore.
Yeah.
By going after, like, what youth market is really interested in superheroes? It's almost like that's a vestige of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they made Spider-Man a streamer.
Yeah.
He's like a live streamer in the show. That's part of his little side gig or something.
It feels like it's written by adults who think they know what kids are into.
Right.
How you do, fellow kids?
Yeah.
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 Steve Buscemi. Oh God, I love that.
I get it. He can't take physical pictures for a print newspaper. It's 2025, but yeah, the whole him streaming, live streaming his shenanigans is just.
And then these kids are going to get their parents to subscribe to Disney Plus to watch his show.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. Well, you've seen the dramatic drop in streaming all over the place. I think people, are tightening the belt because the economy's not great. I mean, not as bad as Canada, but it's first thing you cut is entertainment. So that's why the streaming people are canceling left and right. Why do I still have this? What am I watching?
Yeah, and to Robert's point, the only kids still into this shit are the kids that by we, I mean the nerds that have kids and their nieces and nephews have been shown them and gotten them into it. And when you alienate us, we don't do that, or we show them the older stuff, and that's what they're watching. They're not going to watch this new stuff.
Well, and as our viewers are pointing out in the stream here, it's anime.
Yes.
Yeah. And anime has a whole different mindset behind it. Anime is not necessarily about superheroes the way Western superheroes exist, and it's such an interesting thing that people are always trying to shoehorn these square pegs into round holes. They don't understand. They just don't get it, and they're trying to go with a paradigm that has changed underneath them, and they're still clinging to these old ideas.
Yeah, anime stories are so sophisticated compared to
manga too, like in
100%.
Fucking yeah.
And
well,
if
I go to like my comic book store that's close to me, half not even half the store, like 75% of the store is manga.
Oh, then I have to find the comic section, and it's not.
And
I think
so
Gary
small.
was like, instead of the full face, it's just spines. You just see spines. It's not even a full ad anymore. You have to hunt for the actual comics. I hunted, Rob, for the comics.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing. Like, we cling to these IPs, but these IPs are from a different time, and they belong to a different. I mean, we're older. I mean, some of us are much older than others. But what I find so strange is even with Star Wars and Star Trek, they're trying to turn these franchises that are born of a different time and shoehorn them into the modern age. And that's never worked. Not really. And what's more, what we need more, and I think what people are craving is like, look, Squid Game is something new. John Wick was something new. John Wick became an IP, but it's what, 10 years old now? And that was something recent. It started out as a relatively low budget thing that if you look at its box office and how much they spent on every movie, they didn't just suddenly decide to make a $200 million John Wick movie. The amount of money they spent on the films has been commensurate with what they've earned, and the franchise has become very successful. Now you have the Continental TV series. You have the upcoming Ballerina that comes out, I think, in June. There's a new IP that's delivered for Lionsgate. Why aren't they trying to do this at every studio? It's bizarre to me that all we're getting is regurgitated franchises that don't even belong to the people that would come see them because they've been altered so much. It doesn't make much sense from a business perspective at all. And you've got the youth market. Youth traditionally was what made Hollywood strong, and no one is catering to the youth market anymore because the youth doesn't care about movies.
No, they
You
don't.
know what? My thing is, I don't think Disney is out of touch. I don't think Marvel's out of touch. My problem is they know better. They have built for what, 12 years this universe, right? They know how to make this thing work. They know how to make it succeed, right? We got some of the best superhero stuff we've gotten ever. I mean, for those of us who were around in the 90s, I mean, if you remember, you remember the lack of comic book material we got, the lack of sci-fi we got. I mean, every little thing we got was like a crumb that we were thirsting for. I remember when the Flash series, the original Flash series, appeared on CBS, and just how grateful I was that, oh my God, after all these years, we have a Flash TV show. And I'm not talking about the one with Grant Gustin.
No, you're talking about
when we got it was John
Wesley Shipp.
John Wesley Shipp, yeah. When we got the 89 Batman, you know, it was just like we were thirsting for these things. And then in you know, recent years, you know, we were spoiled. We got all of these great superhero movies, right? Disney knows how to do this stuff right. They made a choice. They made a choice not to make good movies over the past couple of years. And that's what pisses me off, is that they know how to make a good movie. They know what we want. They just didn't want to give us what we wanted.
See, I mean, I think new writers don't know how to write anymore, and I think execs don't know what a good story is, unless even if you.
No, Alan, that's not true, because they gave it to us. They gave it to us, right?
No,
so
I'm talking.
They
now.
made a decision not to do it.
I'm taking the last 4 or 5 years. You know, Disney has done the Great Purge. They got rid of everybody who knows what they're doing, and they replaced them with new people, with new activist writers.
With activists, yeah.
Yeah, with activists.
Okay, but why would they do that, knowing how?
Go ahead.
Knowing what it takes to run a studio, why would
ideological capture does make they don't think clearly.
Yeah, and they're afraid of internet backlash. So if you make a bad decision, fear. Exactly.
They don't. It makes them not think straight. And as you pointed out, we've got the activists can't meet deadlines. They crack. That was that Disney burnout that they'd go in, they'd be hired for jobs they couldn't do, and then they'd leave. And now you're left with what? People that don't know how to do their jobs, and then people that have been pushed out because they were male, pale, and stale. Time to massively
someone talking about me and Rob.
Merit.
Someone talking about Rob and I. What's going on?
It's time to rehire you guys.